Why, hello everyone, how are you doing this fine day? Hope you're enjoying your week. Welcome to another survival challenge, in particular, a Purge survival challenge. You know, I realize that the month of October is almost up as of me recording this video, and I've only made like 3 horror videos this whole month. If I really think about it, it's probably because I way overdid it on Halloween videos last year, and I just didn't want to ever do any more Halloween videos. But it's almost Halloween day, and I should probably do at least one Halloween video right before the end of the month. So that's what we're doing. We're gonna do the Purge. We're gonna throw a bunch of psychopaths into the Purge and see how they do. And don't come at me being like, well, technically I'm a therapist and they don't qualify as... I don't care. If they're evil dudes that kill a lot of people, they're qualifying as psychopaths for this list. I'm not going into the mental gymnastics of what makes a psychopath and what doesn't. I'm not worried about that. Not a doctor, not pretending to be. Okay? So we're just gonna have a short and sweet video about crazy people in a world of mass murderers. It's gonna be great. But I'm wasting up your time. Let's get started. So first things first, we're gonna tell you a little bit about the Purge and what our psychopaths are gonna have to deal with when the Purge comes. And basically, Purge movies are a mostly meh, kind of okay film series, sort of, kind of. In a way. But the entire concept is that America was super violent and over the top and crazy, and there's just so much chaos they couldn't control. So the government came together and decided that they were going to have one day a year where all crime was legal no matter what it was. Rape, murder, thievery. I don't know why I put that next to rape and murder, but basically anything you want to do, it's totally all fair game and you can do all of it once a year, and hopefully that would make the level of violence the rest of the year kind of go away because everybody gets it out of their system. The absolute worst part about the Purge is the whole thing. The Purge, the concept of the Purge is so dumb and would never work ever in any conceivable... What? Seriously? You're telling me that if you're just chilling in your house and Purge night comes and some dude comes in and murders your dad, that the next day you're not gonna like do something about that? You know, you call the police, some dude killed my dad. Well, oh shit, can't. It was Purge night. I'm just gonna hold on to this anger and frustration for a year until next Purge night. Are you serious? Like, Purge day comes and your neighbors try to murder you. They fail and you get away, and then the next day you go to get your newspaper from the front yard and the neighbors wave, and you're like, bitch, I remember you just tried to fucking kill me. Like, this isn't over. You're dead. I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like, this shit isn't just Black Friday. People don't just stop shopping when the day rolls around. There's gonna be some major beef, and they're not just gonna let that shit go. What about all like the psychological trauma that happens once a year? You're gonna have an entire population of people who all of which have some horror story about watching their mother get chainsawed in front of them, or they had to shoot a dude in the face because he was trying to kill them, or just something horrible happening. Every single year, there's a countrywide riot. Have you ever seen a riot just end in a day? Even a riot that only covers a block. No, that shit takes forever to stop. Across the whole country, they're all just gonna be cool, like they're always gonna go right back to normal. You know, they're just gonna be like, oh, time's up, time to go home. No, you're gonna be dealing with that shit for fucking months. It's gonna still be going on. There's gonna be cities where shit's still getting destroyed. And the whole reason why you did this is because the country's level of violence was so high that this was your answer. I'm just gonna let you know, just a little thing about human nature. When humans are like super shitty and doing all kinds of awful things, and then you give them free reign to do it more one day out of the year, it doesn't stop it the rest of the year. It gives them a taste for it and allows them to unleash their absolute worst fucking impulses, and that will exaggerate throughout the rest of the year. Now, to be fair to the movie series, it's very heavily hinted at that the people who put this rule in charge are aware that it doesn't help anything, and they do it specifically so that the elites can control the masses. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like that's not a big part of it, but I do think that the movies show that it works better than it should. Like, it should be absolute fucking chaos all the time. This country should have been torn the fuck apart. Like, there's a rule that they can't attack political figures, which in one of the movies they take away because one politician is trying to get another one assassinated, so he takes away that rule so he can have it done legally. But most of the time, you're not supposed to kill politicians. Are you fucking kidding me? You think that you're gonna be able to pass something like this and make it so that everyone kill anyone, no rules allowed, but you can't kill us, the people who are passing the law? You think the people aren't gonna be fucking pissed about that? You think that the people aren't going to go out of their way to massacre all of the politicians they don't like? You're not gonna figure out who did it. You literally have one night where every single person in the country is going out massacring people. Not every single, to be fair. There's still good people who are like, no, this is wrong, I'm not participating. But basically everyone is either killing people or fighting to survive. And nobody's gonna go after the politicians. Nobody. They're just gonna be totally safe in their houses. No locked doors or nothing. Again, are you kidding me? No, the entire country would have collapsed. This would not have helped the elite control the masses. This would have guaranteed that you can't control the masses. It's a fun concept for a movie because the idea that all crime is legal is just cool to set up fun little scenarios where you can have a bunch of people attacking your main characters and trying to murder you, and there's no police to lean back on or no one to help you. You're just kind of stuck for 24 hours. That in of itself is a cool concept. It's like being trapped behind enemy lines or something until you can escape. Cool. A grade. But for the universe, it doesn't make any fucking sense. It's really, really dumb. But luckily for me, how dumb it is doesn't matter because it is a cool scenario to throw some psychopaths in and see what happens, which is why we're here today. And that's how that works. So how are psychos do in the Purge universe if they made Purge Night a thing and they had to survive in Purge Night? I don't know. Stop asking me. Let's fucking find out. First up on the chopping block, we have the Firefly Family from the Corpse movies. This is House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects. And the best thing about this movie series are the titles of the movies. As much as I don't like these movies and think they're absolute pieces of shit, House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects are cool fucking titles for movies. There's just no getting around that. Good on the title maker for the movies. But outside of those things, these movies fucking suck. And this is starting to sound like I'm reviewing every single movie. I'm not reviewing every single movie, but these movies sucking actually does feed into how well they'll do in the Purge universe. Because the shit that happens in these movies make absolutely no sense, and the Firefly family should have been murdered or taken down a long time ago. Characters in this movie outside of the Firefly, even the Firefly family, they're all dumb. Everyone in these films are stupid. The victims are stupid. The Firefly families are stupid. Things will happen where you're like, okay, they should definitely get caught, and they just don't. Like at one point in the movies, they kidnap a woman and they bring her to a hotel, just a public hotel with other people, and they trap her in there while she's like screaming, and they're like torturing her and killing people in a hotel and shit, and you're like, okay, no, this is broad daylight, no one can hear this. All right, cool. Then the chick escapes the hotel, runs out in the middle of the street, broad daylight. They chase her down and murder her. Again, no witnesses, nobody sees nothing, nothing happens. Characters have chances to escape all the time and never do, and if they do, the Firefly family are just laughing because it's just inevitable that they're going to catch them again, which they do because the characters are fucking stupid, like I said. When you actually look at the decisions that the Firefly family make and the decisions that their victims make, you come to the conclusion, the only conclusion you can really come to, that the Firefly family fucking suck at murdering people. They're really, really bad at it. The only thing that makes them good is that everyone they go after is retarded and is just like flabbergasted by any form of violence. It's like you filled this fucking movie filled with pacifists. Nobody is capable of fighting back or in any way, trying to save their own lives. They just kind of let the death come upon them, which would not be the case for the Purge movies. In the Purge universe, the entire country, the whole nation, all once a night have to either fight for their life or kill a bunch of people. That's basically what happens to every single person in the country who isn't a super rich bitch. Like all working class people and below know how to defend themselves, because if they don't, they're dead. That's how this universe works. That means if you take the Firefly family, you throw them in this universe, the only people they're going to be able to serial kill are going to be very used to violence. They're gonna see it once a year, every single year, and be capable of either fighting against it or death. And you can say, well, like, okay, they can fucking go after the rich people who aren't really used to it. Well, if you ever seen where the Firefly family live in the middle of fucking nowhere, there aren't gonna be any rich people there. These are all gonna be poor people, or like, middle of the road people, who are going to be very used to violence. The Firefly family attacking them wouldn't even really surprise them all that much. Like, the Firefly family gonna kidnap them and shit, and they're gonna be like, oh shit, is it Purge night already? Damn, my calendar must be wrong. Time to fucking murder. And the Firefly family's gonna have to deal with that shit. Basically, everyone in this whole country is gonna have some form of like wartime PTSD, despite the fact they've never been to war. They're gonna have all the same experiences and similar skills. In the Purge universe, we see that a lot of normal people learn how to fight and shoot and do all this stuff in preparation for the Purge. Even people who don't want to purge and who think it's not cool, they're like, no, we need to learn how to defend ourselves because once a year we're going to be targets. So the Firefly family is getting put in a universe where everything is going to be way harder for them to do. They're no longer special. They're no longer the only people who aren't pacifists. They're no longer the only people who don't know how to kill people and don't have murder experience, which is basically the only reason why they ever survive. Which, by the way, I call bullshit. I don't remember what state the corpse movies take place in, but it's always in a place that looks very deserty. There's not a whole lot of people around. It looks like the New Mexico, Texas area. And I can tell you from experience, if they're in fucking Texas or New Mexico, these fucking people are armed and they know how to shoot people. So I always thought it was kind of weird how in the corpse movies, like the Firefly family are always really armed and no violence and shit like that, but they're always going up against people who seem like, you know, Los Angeles liberals who are like, oh, peace and love and fucking eat cabbage or whatever the fuck vegans eat. It just seemed unrealistic to me. Like the people who would be in that area should be able to know how to defend themselves. It's pretty common for people in those areas to know how to defend themselves. It's like built into the culture, and those movies completely ignore that. But in the Purge universe, you can't ignore it. They're all amazing at it. In fact, most of your average citizens, basically all of your average citizens who aren't dead, would be considerably better at it than the Firefly family. Way better. And they would all be armed. This is gonna go so poorly for them. They're gonna get murdered immediately. I think they'll be murdered before the Purge even happens. Let's say we put the Firefly family in the universe on January 1st. They die January 3rd. How long does it take them to attack somebody? They're dead. Whenever that shit happens, they're dead. Because again, they've literally never gone after someone who knows what they're doing. Even the characters who are supposed to know what they're doing, like in the universe of the movie, make decisions that make no fucking sense. Rob Zombie cared so little about the writing of this film being quality that to do the backstories of his killers, he went on Wikipedia, copied and pasted just random backstories of serial killers and put them on the website of the fucking corpse movies before it came out, and made those the backstories of Mama Firefly and Captain Spaulding. Or Spaulding? What's the fucking dude? He's gonna be in a thumbnail, whatever. That guy. They literally just have backstories that are random serial killers because Rob Zombie couldn't think or didn't care to think of actual backstories for any of the characters. The level of not giving a shit when it comes to the writing of this dude's movies is absolutely atrocious, and it fucking shows in every single movie he has ever made, including the corpse films. I mean, shit, the most famous line in the entire series, I am a devil and I am here to do the devil's work, which is said by Otis, was stolen from the Manson family. You know, the Manson family, the actual real cult that killed Sharon Tate, the very famous actress back in the 60s. Yeah, one of the killers before she killed Sharon Tate said, I am a devil and I'm here to do the devil's work. It became this infamous line that was stated, and fucking Rob Zombie stole it and put it in his movie and became the best line of the movie. This dude does not have an original idea in his head that's good. His movies suck. The Fireflies are gonna get fucking murdered. They won't even make it to Purge Day. If you're enjoying the video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, join the membership, and hype the video. Doing all of this helps with the channel and allows the channel to grow and do well, and it's awesome, and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. If you do it, I'll suck your dick. Also, don't forget to go down below to the pinned comment where there is a link to the Discord, as well as my second channel where I put some videos occasionally when I feel like it. Also, these things are getting way too long. Don't forget that I am currently streaming Dispatch. I did episode 1 and 2 the other day. It's not good. I had audio issues, but the audio issues have been fixed. So don't worry, it's gonna be better next time. But I do intend on playing all the episodes. So if you want to see them live or watch the live after they're done, those will be on there. I'm probably gonna do Dispatch episode 2 and 3 within the next day or two, and then that'll be posted. So, you know, look out for those. Check the community post to know when it happens, because I will post it on there as well as the Discord. Or, you know, just check out the video after the, you don't have to go to live. You just go afterwards and watch it. That's fine. Whatever. You know, whatever works for you. That's how it is. You know, free country. Next up, we got Billy and Stu from No, hold up. Next up, we got Billy and Stu from Scream, also known as Next up, we have Billy and Stu, also known as Ghostface, from the movie Scream. Jesus Christ, okay. So you know how I just said that Purge wouldn't do shit about actually stopping violence throughout the, you know, country and shit? Okay, I'm about to contradict that, because I actually think the Purge would stop Billy and Stu from doing the shit that they did well, it wouldn't stop the shit from them doing it, but it wouldn't be illegal. The whole reason why Billy and Stu do what they do, well, Billy has like legitimate reasons. Legitimate's not right, really. Well, kind of legit. I don't know. If some whore fucks your dad and breaks up your family and does all that, you're probably gonna want to fuck up that whore. Like, I mean, a little. It's a little legitimate. Now, going after her daughter and all your friends in high school, that I didn't understand that. But the woman, I kind of get. You know, I actually think that it used to be legal. It might still be legal in Japan that if your husband cheats on you, the wife was legally allowed to kill the lover of the husband as well as the husband himself. I think it was something like you can kill the husband using a weapon and you can kill the wife, but you weren't allowed to use a weapon. And that was, I don't remember if that law is still in place, but it was like an old Japanese law. Anyway, point is, cultures are usually okay with you fucking up cheaters. So that was a big part of Billy's reason. Stu doesn't really have reasons, but their secondary reason was that they're just obsessed with movies and they want to like live this movie fantasy of being horror killers. They planned for years and years and years to actually do this and like go about doing this. If the Purge existed, they wouldn't have to do that because once a year they can just fulfill that fantasy totally legally and nobody would give a shit. Or, I mean, the movie says that nobody gives a shit. People would 100% give a shit. If Billy and Stu were just out fulfilling their fucking murder fantasies, the next day people would be looking at them kind of weird. The Purge movies wants to completely forget about like how human nature works, but whatever. It's fine. Point is, it would actually work for them. You know, it would stop murder all around the year. But at the end of the day, it wouldn't really work. Because, I mean, they spent years and years and years to plan it out and then trying to do it and then trying to get away with it. If Purge was legal, they would just do it once a year and likely kill way more people and not have to worry about planning to get away with it. So they would still certainly kill more people than they did. It would work in a way that they wouldn't murder people outside of the Purge night, but it wouldn't work because they would, like, way more people would die. Like, way more people would die. Because you're giving them free reign to go on murder sprees once a year. What? Now, if you did give them free reign to go on murder sprees once a year, how would that go? Well, for one, I actually think they would lose interest in it. I really do. Because I think the whole idea of them, like, wanting to do this is something that like they're really obsessed with movies and shit, and Billy wants his whole vengeance thing and they just want to experience the situation. But I do think at a certain point, if they survive long enough, they're just gonna kind of get bored with it because it's gonna just become this thing that they like, everyone does it. It's no longer this like, you know, like taboo thing they're not allowed to do. It's just free. And also once a year when they do it, it's just basically a riot. It's just a riot. It's not the horror film that they want to live out. It's a totally different vibe. It's not going to feel like the horror film. They're not just going to be able to go to some farmhouse somewhere with a bunch of teenagers partying and murder them all, because there won't be a bunch of teenagers just partying, and there are going to be people either preparing for the Purge to not die or purging. They're going to have to fucking fight a bunch of dudes with weapons and shit. I don't think it's going to be as fun for them. It's a lot more fun to call up some, you know, hot blonde chick and being like, do you like scary movies? And fucking wrong. I'm going to kill you now and freak you out by murdering your boyfriend. It's going to be a totally different situation when he calls him up like, do you like bitch, like, come on in. Like, I'm already prepared for this shit. All right, I got booby traps set up. I got a shotgun aimed at the front door. Back door is fucking chained shut. You can't get in there. Let's go, bitch. I'm ready. I'm fucking ready for you. And they're gonna be like, well, fuck. This is just a fight now. It's not even like a horror thing. I don't feel like the serial killer horror monster that I want to feel like. I just feel like a dude who has to fight other people. And if they go to fight him, they'll probably lose. Because Billy and Stu fucking suck at killing people. They're really, really bad at it. They're clumsy. They trip all over themselves. They can't kill teenage girls most of the time. They're certainly not going to be able to kill, like, trained dudes who are, a lot of these dudes who are normal dudes are damn near military trained at times because of their Purge preparations. This is not going to be easy for them. They're likely going to die. They're going to be like the pussies of the Purge. They're going to wear their little masks and shit and their little Halloween costumes. Everyone's going to be like, why are you wearing that? That's going to make it way harder for you to like run around and murder people and fire AK-47s at people. And he's like, what do you mean fire AK-47s? I got the knife. I want to stab him. It's like a horror. He's like, no, bitch. We all have AK-47s. We're like, you're going to fucking die. This is stupid. What are you doing? People don't do this. So honestly, their whole setup is going to have to change. Billy's still going to want to kill his girlfriend. Billy's still going to want to like get revenge on all that shit. So he might just wait for the Purge night to do that. And then if he wants his horror fantasy to be fulfilled, he's gonna have to do it on a day that it's not Purge night, because otherwise everyone's like kind of prepared for it and he doesn't give him that horror feeling that he's looking for. But even if he does it on not Purge night, he's still going up against people who should be relatively either super fucking rich, who have significant defenses built into their house, or they're not rich and they're basically like a bunch of fucking Rambos or like mini Rambos that are just like, come at me, bitch. I'm ready for you. Like, you know this shit's illegal, right? Like, this ain't Purge night, bitch. And they're calling him on the phone trying to scare people, and people aren't being scared because they all have PTSD from like other other worse shit that happened on past Purge nights, yeah, they're gonna hate it here. They're gonna absolutely hate it here. That fantasy won't even exist. Horror movies won't even really matter. Like, who's gonna go watch a horror movie or like an action movie when you live that shit once a year and you're having fucking PTSD shit from it? They're gonna absolutely hate this universe. If they were born here, they're never actually going to grow up to be like obsessed with horror movies. And if we just take them out of their universe and put them here, they're gonna be so fucking frustrated because this world doesn't work anything like theirs. And he's like, well, fuck. Well, what am I supposed to? Shit, this sucks. I mean, shit, in the Scream universe, every time the Ghostface killer shows up and does some crazy shit, everybody kind of treats them like they're celebrities. They're like, oh, isn't this so cool? Because they're all like horror movie obsessed. Billy and Stu basically become celebrities. In the Purge movies, they're just like another dude. Just another person who murders people. Who gives a shit? Nobody's gonna care. They're not gonna become celebrities. They're not gonna become remembered. It's not gonna be some cool like horror thing. Oh, remember when those guys tried to like recreate a horror movie? Like, our lives are horror movies. Our lives are actually technically like action survival movies. And these two bitches with a fucking like pocket knife are going around. I know it's not a pocket knife. I'm insulting their weapon. I'm being condescending on purpose. My point is they're carrying around little knives. Everybody else is armed to the teeth, ready for fucking action. You know what I mean? These guys are just not for it. They can't. They get beat up by teenage girls. Billy and Stu are fucked, and they're gonna be miserable the whole time they're here until they're fucked. It's gonna suck for them. They are 100% gonna get fucking murdered. Next up on the list, we have John Kramer, aka Jigsaw from the Saw films. These dudes having more than one name. This is difficult. Tired of saying this shit. It's a lot of shit to say. I gotta say, I do think it's funny how the two picks that I have at the bottom of the list are the characters with multiple people, and the people that I have at the top of the list are only one person. Like, it just adds insult to injury that the two at the bottom just suck that badly that one dude outdoes, you know, the two Ghostface killers and the entire fucking Firefly family. You guys fucking suck that badly. But on to John, I think that he's another character that wouldn't be able to exist in the same way that he does in his own universe in the Purge universe. John's whole thing is he thinks that people don't value their lives enough. They waste it, they abuse it, they just don't care enough about life. He's dying and he values life greatly, and he's like, I want to teach people before I go this philosophy of really valuing your own life. The problem with that is everybody in the Purge has had to fight for their life to survive. They all value their life, all of them. Anybody who isn't rich very heavily values their life because they've been forced to earn it. Once again, that means if John Kramer was born in this universe, he wouldn't have any reason to become Jigsaw because they do that. Like, his philosophy is good. There's no reason for his philosophy to form in the same way that it did in his own universe. The only people who wouldn't value their life that way would be rich people because they don't experience the Purge. And then it would become this thing about Jigsaw going after the rich, and that's not really a part of his philosophy. He doesn't care about rich and poor. In fact, John is extremely rich himself. He was a very successful and wealthy engineer who can afford to make all these crazy fucking traps, which honestly makes you think, I don't know if they go over this in the movies, but how the hell did they not track the purchases of all the shit they needed to make the traps and instantly realize that only one person buys that? Like, most people aren't buying the tools needed to make a giant guillotine to like cut dudes in half. You know, like, there's very specific parts that John is buying here to make these traps. He's got to be the only person in the entire world who's buying them. They're literal torture devices. This is a lot of money going out. How the fuck did they not find John earlier? Well, to be fair, they knew John was Jigsaw by the second film, so it's not like they spent a lot of time looking for him. But I feel like that would have been super obvious by the first film. There shouldn't have even been a surprise that John was fucking Jigsaw. They should have just known that was him. Be like, oh, let's track purchases. Oh, look, hey, this dude's fucking, that's crazy. He's definitely doing it. They would have known that it would have had to be some form of engineer just by how complex the fucking traps were. This just made sense. Like, it wouldn't have been that hard. Anyway, that's a totally different problem. So yeah, if John was in this universe, he wouldn't have his philosophy. Jigsaw would likely never be made. And if he was made, the philosophy would really be more like going after the rich, which is not really John Kramer's whole thing. The only thing I can see John really doing is essentially almost being like a vigilante, like more so of a vigilante than he is in his own series. Like, he's kind of, some people consider him a vigilante in the Saw. He's not. He's killing innocent people who are just kind of selfish pricks. That doesn't make you a vigilante. You're still a piece of shit fucking mass murderer. But in the Purge world, he actually would be more like a vigilante, but like a legal vigilante. All he would have to do is open his doors wide the fuck open once a year during Purge night. Everyone would come in being like, look at this big ass house, doors wide open, this dude's stupid. And they all run in there to rob him and murder him and rape him and do all kinds of fucked up shit they want to do, and they're all gonna get fucked up by traps, and John's gonna be fine. He's gonna be totally cool. His ability to plan and lay out traps and predict what people are going to do in Some movies, not all. Like in 2 where that dumb bitch puts both her hands in the box. I don't like, that was a bad trap, John. You just lucked the fuck out on that one. She could have easily grabbed that shit without sticking both of her hands in the box. But for the most part, he's pretty good at predicting what people are going to do and not going to do, and setting up traps accordingly to you know, have them get fucking killed. That's basically all he would have to do here. And it would all be totally fucking legal. 100%. Like, he's like, hey, you enter this house at your own peril. Don't fucking come in here. And they do, and they die. But yeah, his whole thing about trying to, I mean, I guess maybe he might set some stuff up, specifically leave his house, not worry about the people who want to like break in once a year, go after individual people who he plans to go after in those years, kidnap them on that night, trap them in places, make them go through the traps, possibly recruit people to join him. He'll probably have a larger group joining him because it's no longer illegal. So on one night, he might have 30 fucking people agreeing with him that will then go and kidnap all of these rich people on the Purge night that he has like planned out. Like, okay, these people have a security system. This is how you get into the security system. Get all the people, take them, bring them to different locations that John planned ahead of time, have them all go through their traps in the 24 hours of Purge night, probably kill 30, 40, 50 people. Maybe some of them might live, and that'll be fine. And this will just be a system that he's got, and everyone can even know about the system. Be like, hey, yeah, that's John Kramer. On Purge nights, he goes after people who don't value their lives, basically mostly rich people, and he fucking throws them through these traps and they get all fucked up, and we all know about it, and there's nothing we can do about it, and honestly we don't really want to stop it because he's fucking up all the rich people who are usually immune to the shit that we all have to deal with. So fuck them. Why would we care? And that would basically be John's whole thing. It would be like almost like an organization or a company or some shit that would just have more and more people built up in it. Evil people that want to experience Purge night but also kind of feel like they're sort of helping people. Again, in real life this would not be helping people. This is fucked up. But in their like twisted worldview, the Purge worldview, you know, maybe. And then, you know, when they try and pass a law to be like, hey, let's eliminate the Purge night, John will be like, fuck. No, don't do that. He might even be a powerful political figure that may actually, you know, oppose getting rid of Purge night. Being like, no, these people need to fucking suffer. Like, this is bad. And the Purge night actually does do what I want. It doesn't stop crime like you guys say it does, but it totally does make people value their life. So yeah, just keep the Purge going. Why not? I mean, people have to fight for their lives, and then they care about their lives, and I don't have to fucking throw them in traps. So we're all good. I think that John Kramer would excel in this universe. Massively, massively excel. It's gonna be fucking great for him. Like, he'll love it. He'll love it. He'd be one of the most powerful figures in this whole universe for the most part. I mean, to be fair, John will die of cancer eventually. I guess if you want to say, will he survive? The answer is no. But he's not gonna get got by the Purge. I mean, I don't think it counts if you die of fucking cancer. Technically, all of these characters, if they live long enough, will eventually fucking die of old age or some kind of sickness. So the cancer doesn't count. The Purge isn't gonna be what gets him, so he survives. I probably should have put him last, honestly. I put him here because I thought him and the last guy were basically interchangeable. But now that I'm thinking about it, no, I don't think they're interchangeable. I think Kramer should go last for sure. Last up, but certainly not least, we have the Joker from the Dark Knight film. One film, sadly. Rest in peace, Heath Ledger. Was supposed to be in Rises. That would have been cool. I would like to see a Bane and Joker in Rises. That was the initial plan. Never happened. That sucks. Like, probably one of the greatest movies we never got. I'm feeling more sentimental than usual right now because I just saw 10 Things I Hate About You, and I'm like, you know, he was like, I like him in that movie. He was a handsome guy, young guy. You know, I liked his acting. It's a charming movie. It's a bummer he was dead. That sucks for him. Not gonna cry about it or anything, but you know, I would prefer him not be dead. But to get to the Joker, this is yet another situation where Joker's whole point is already like is not necessary here. It's the opposite of Jigsaw's, where Jigsaw, his point is there's no point because all of these people do value their lives and have proven it. Joker's whole point was that deep down every single person was just bad, and it just takes one bad day to turn a good person to a bad person, and we're all really deep down just super awful and shitty, and that's already been mostly proven. The Purge has very clearly proven, yeah, most people are shitty. Not everyone goes through the Purge, that's for sure, but the vast majority of society are all for the Purge. Ergo, Joker's whole point doesn't really matter or have any purpose. At literally the start of the film, his point's proven. The thing is that Joker doesn't actually care that much about his points. Like, the whole idea of Joker is he's a chaotic force, and I don't think even he cares that much about proving it right or wrong, the points he's trying to make. Because even at the end of The Dark Knight, he is proven wrong, and he's still just gonna blow up the fucking boats and kill everybody anyway and continue his whole chaotic thing. And that's another thing thing. The Joker's not going to care about the Purge at all. Like, do you really think that the Joker's going to hold all his murder tendencies just for one night a year because it's illegal to do it outside of that? Does that sound anything like Joker? Do you think he's not going to go after politicians like he did in The Dark Knight because it's illegal to go after politicians? Again, does this sound like the Joker to you? No. He's not giving a shit about the Purge. It's not really going to change what he does at all. He's still going to go off killing people. He's still going to be a terrorist and a criminal. He's still going to do all kinds of wild shit. And honestly, he's probably going to build up much like he does in a lot of other fictions. He doesn't really do it in The Dark Knight. Kind of, a little bit. They show a little bit of it. But for the most part, in a lot of other fictions, the Joker builds up like following of people who really like him. In the Purge universe, where there are a lot of people who are already murder obsessed and can't wait to do the Purge, and here's this one guy who's doing all this shit outside of the Purge, and he's fucking up all the politicians and breaking all the rules and being a real bad boy, going after all these authority figures and not being controlled by the elites, which is what the whole film series of the Purge is all about, is being controlled by the elites. He's gonna gain one massive fucking following. Everyone is gonna love this dude. He's like, bro, he's breaking all the fucking rules. He's stepping outside the cage that we were all put in, yo. It's gonna be all like 60s fucking, wave of it, but instead of like peace and no war, it's gonna be like, yeah, Joker, murder everyone. Let's do that. It's like the opposite. It's like the opposite of the peace thing and the anti-war shit that happened during the Vietnam War in the 60s. It's gonna be like that, but the opposite. And he might legitimately succeed in collapsing the society of the Purge was already gonna get collapsed. Let's be clear. Like in the real world, it would already collapse. It's just fucking plot convenience that it has not. But even if it hasn't, throwing the Joker in that world would for sure do it. Because now you have someone doing a bunch. Now, this isn't small shit. This isn't like knifing a dude in an alley when it's not Purge night, right? This is literally assaulting the police, bombing buildings, assassinating political figures, all kind of like big shit that's gonna make not national news, international news. This is gonna have. And all of the sickos in the Purge universe who are just like, I can't wait to get me some killing women, children, fucking babies. I love me just killing people. They're all gonna look at that and be like, this dude's got the right idea. This is the guy that I could totally follow. This is gonna be awesome. And it also helps that he's like an insanely skilled, clearly ex-military who has knowledge in firearms and explosives and can hand-to-hand fight fucking Batman. And Batman doesn't exist in this universe, so there's really no incredibly intelligent dude with high tech that can like locate him and find him and take him out. Like, there really isn't gonna be anyone who could stop him. The Joker doesn't live anywhere. Nobody knows who he is. There's no records of him at all, anywhere. Nobody's gonna rat on him and tell you where he is, because he's gonna do horrible fucking things to you, like feed you to your own dogs or light you on fire while you sit on a pile of money, which is actually, no one ever talks about this, but the Asian dude was all about money. He was all about greed, and Joker literally has a line where he's like, all you guys care about is money, and the guy who was greedy, he burnt on top of a pile of money. Very poetic. You don't really think about that while you're watching it, because while he's burning alive off screen, he's not screaming at all, so most people just forget he was even there. But even the people who do think, they don't think about the poeticness of it. That was a poetic fucking kill. That really was. Because he's not just proving a point that he doesn't care about money, but he's punishing the guy who did by burning him on a mountain of money. And the movie did it in a way that wasn't like super obvious or banging you in the head like, do you get it? Fucking greed is bad. And it's like, no, that was clever. That was well done. It's good writing. This movie does have good writing in it. Dark Knight's a good movie. People like it for a reason. And no, it's not just Heath Ledger. And a lot of people say, without Heath Ledger, the movie. No, it'd still be a good movie. It's a better movie with Heath Ledger, but it was still a good movie even if you took Heath Ledger out. So yeah, without Batman, I don't see a way the Purge universe is going to be able to track him down. They're not going to be able to stop him. Half the fucking country are going to be all for what he's doing and likely even assist him. He's basically going to start a revolution across the entire country that's probably going to lead to the downfall of this entire elite system. I don't really see an alternative to that if there's no Batman here. And honestly, with or without Batman, the Purge universe would be easier for him to do that than basically any other universe because of the way the politicians and elite of that universe set it up. It literally set it up in the way where it's like, yeah, all this shit, this is okay. You can do this. You can get excited to do this once a year. This is all fine. They have purposely convinced large portions of society that all this violence and horror is totally cool. So when Joker comes out and he starts fucking doing it, and he's doing it in a more rebellious way, which people generally are cool with, they like rebellion, rebels are like badass and awesome and trendy, that's just going to make Joker way more successful than he would be even if he was in Gotham without Batman. He would be more successful because his message is going to reach the whole fucking country. In the Dark Knight universe, with or without Batman, the country would be appalled by the shit that Joker is doing. That is not the case in the Purge movie. Him and Jigsaw, okay, so I changed my mind. I don't necessarily think that Jigsaw should be after, because I think they're both going to basically excel. I will say, I would say Jigsaw should probably go after, just because everything he does is now legal. So literally no one would have a reason to go after him. Whereas Joker, people would still have a reason to go after him because he's not following the rules. I just don't think they're going to catch him. But because they're going after him, I guess there's a better chance that they will catch him eventually than they would Jigsaw, who's just following the rules. So yeah, I would still switch it, but barely. I really think they're both just gonna fucking excel here. It's gonna be great. But that's all I have for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, look at these 4 videos on the screen. Click on one of them, watch them. The algorithm likes it when you click on one of these 4 videos. Fuck them videos down below the video. Those don't matter to the algorithm. Click on one of these 4. It's gonna be great. You're gonna love them. And always remember, y'all stay safe out there. You hear?